and dear students. On behalf of Cognizant International Business School, I, Isha Gupta, alongside Urmit, extend a warm welcome to our esteemed Vice Chairman, Mr. Anirudh Jindal, respected Director, Dr. Vikas Professor Nath, Dean Ma'am, Ms. Prati Jindal, faculty members, and our beloved students. We also extended a heartfelt welcome to esteemed guest of the day, Mr. Ashish Chandra, Senior Director, Axtria, Ingenious Inside, Dr. Shivam Srivastava, Associate Director, Cognizant, Mr. Trivedi, Advocate Supreme Court, Mr. Cobi, Sarangal, Head Product Manager at the Naukri campus. We welcome you all to the SERP and the Axtria Conclave 2.2. We feel immensely honored to host HR Conclave 2.0 on a captivating theme, AI and HR, navigating the future of work for future leaders and the lawyers. For an auspicious start, let's pray to Lord Ganesha and invoke his blessings. We know, invite respected dignitaries to come forward for the lighting the lamp. Let's mark the beginning for this knowledge.
GIBS was established in the year 2004 and is affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. The institute conducts programs of integrating to acknowledge the vision behind this conflict. The aim to equip you, our future leaders and lawyers, with insights on how AI is transforming the world of work, especially in human resources. Today, we stand at the intersection of technology and human potential. The role of artificial intelligence in shaping the future of work has never been more profound, and its impact on HR practices has changed the way we think about leadership, employment, and legal structures in organizations. AI is no longer just a concept confined to futuristic predictions. It's here, changing recruitment processes, workforce management, and even the dynamics of trade unions. Today, we will explore these exciting developments with a lineup of distinguished speakers who will guide us through the various facets of AI in HR. We would now request Director Sir to deliver the inaugural address and share the vision of this conclave.
A very good morning to all of you. I take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Ashish Chandra, Senior Director, Axtria, Ingenious Insight, Dr. Shivam Srivastava, Associate Director, Cognizant, Mr. Trivedi, Advocate, Supreme Court of India, and Mr. Cobi Sarangal, Product Head, Naukri Campus. Dear distinguished guests, esteemed panelists, and participants, it's my privilege to extend a warm welcome to all of you to today's HR Conclave on the theme AI and Human Resource Navigating the Future of Work. This gathering comes at a pivotal time when technology, especially artificial intelligence, is reshaping the workplace at an unprecedented pace. Every day we see that our students, our faculty, our staff have started making use of ChatGPT. And there is hardly any piece of document which I find is free of ChatGPT. And now as researchers we are finding it difficult to find out whether it has been your original contribution or it's a contribution of the ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence that is really giving you intelligence in present day scenario. It is very important to understand that as we make use of technology, we should not forget about the human touch, which is very important because we are working for humans and we have to work with teams. Hence, we thought that HR Conclave 2.0 should focus on a balance between the technology and the human resource. While I was interacting with few of my friends in the morning who happened to reach early and we were having a chat together, they shared a very useful insight with us, and I'm sharing this with your permission, Shivam. The moment you are creating your CV on artificial intelligence, it is the artificial intelligence who is going to verify whether your CV is apt or not. So the screening also is being done by artificial intelligence, right? The volume of CVs which the companies are getting, and they have to draw meaningful information. After screening the things from that is also being done through the technology which is being used by you and as well as the recruiters. So now is the time that technology versus technology is taking place with humans on the backside of the technology. That's the challenging scenario which you as my dear students are going to follow and face in the days to come. So those times are still becoming challenging because the scenario is very much different from the scenario which we faced or which we face today. But by the time you are there in the job market tomorrow, you have to face this artificial intelligence who is assisting the human resource and is also acting as a human resource while they are screening your CVs. So be smarter so that you are able to outsmart this technology, and I hope this HR Conclave is going to talk on this aspect, which is going to make you more intelligent and better informed for the days to come. There are a few things which I thought I must jot down, because when we are going to talk of the panel discussion, there are a few things which I would request the esteemed panelists to focus upon, so as to set the tone of this HR Conclave. First, how can organizations implement artificial intelligence and HR processes without losing the human touch, empathy and emotional intelligence that are crucial to employee engagement and well-being? What ethical considerations should be addressed when using artificial intelligence in recruitment, performance management and employee evaluation? What are the key skills human resource professionals and employees need to thrive in an AI-enabled workplace? And how can AI be effectively used to streamline recruitment, talent management, workforce planning processes, and what are the best practices and potential pitfalls, data privacy and security concerns associated with it? With this, I stop here and I take the opportunity of welcoming the guests once again, and I pass on the dais to my host. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
So our first guest is Mr. Ashish Chandra, Senior Director at Axtria Ingenious Insights. Mr. Chandra holds a master degree in technology from IIT Kanpur and has an engineering degree from Azad Institute of Information and Engineering and Technology, Lucknow. With over 19 years of experience in the analysis industry, Mr. Chandra has truly been a pioneer in developing data-driven cultures as well as for the teams and the strategies. Mr. Chandra has previously worked with the United Health Group for over 10 years when he played various leadership roles, including Director of Data Science. He has also worked with Cognizant and IBM Global Services, contributing immensely to client delivery and team development. We also have Mr. Trivedi, Advocate of Supreme Court.
Welcome you, sir. Mr. Trivedi is a distinguished alumnus of Shivam College of Commerce and Campus Law Center, University of Delhi, holds bachelor's degree in Commerce Honors and LLB. He pursued an LLM with dual specialization in International Civil and Commercial Law from the University of Leiden in the Netherlands, focusing on international commercial arbitration. As a former technocrat in the Union government, he served as Assistant Private Secretary to Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, contributing to various ministries and actively participating in policy drafting. Joining Mr. Akhil Sibbal's chambers in 2009, Mr. Harsh excelled in litigation and advisory work, showcasing expertise in civil and commercial law and alternate dispute resolution. With a robust background working with prominent law firms like Karanjwala and Company, Pastrich and Company, he has a proven track record at the Supreme Court of India, High Court of Delhi and various tribunals and courts. We welcome you, sir. We request Honorable Dean Ma'am to give a great welcome to Mr. Ashish Chandra and Mr. Harsh. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am.
It's our pleasure to introduce our next guest, Dr. Shivam Srivastava, who currently serves as the Associate Director at the Cognizant with a distinguished career in technology and management. Dr. Srivastava has been instrumental in driving strategy initiatives and innovations within the organization. His expertise spans across multiple domains, including technology consulting, digital transformation, and leadership in managing large-scale teams and the projects. With his vast experience, Mr. Srivastava is known for identifying key strategies, goals, and developing cutting-edge analysis solutions to help businesses thrive in today's competitive landscape.
Next, we are delighted Mr. Cobi, Sarangal, the product head at Naukri campus. Mr. Sarangal has been a driving force behind innovative recruitment solutions at Naukri campus, catering to the needs of both job seekers and employers. As the head of the product, Mr. Sarangal is responsible for shaping the future of campus recruitment by leveraging technology to bridge the gap between students and potential employers. His work has been instrumental in streamlining recruitment processes and delivering value to educational institutions across the country. We welcome you both, sir. We request Director Sir to give a green welcome to Dr. Shivam Srivastava and Mr. Cobi Sarangal.
Thank you so much, sir. We welcome you all once again to the HR Conclave 2.0. The release of the placement brochure for Centers of Management Studies, Center of Legal Studies 2024 to 2025. These brochures are a reflection of the immense talent, skills and the potentials that our students possess. They not only showcase the academic achievements of our students but also the practical expertise they have gained to meet the needs of today's experiences. We are proud to present to you the future leaders and the lawyers who are ready to make a mark in the professional world. To officially launch the placement brochure, may we invite Sir Director Sir, Dean Ma'am and our esteemed guest on the stage.
Honorable Dean Ma'am to officially begin with the HR conclave.
Topic, which is AI. Again, I will request all of you to pay attention. This is for you, and you can leverage the knowledge which we are going to share for your future. So, somebody said AI is electricity now. Okay, you cannot live without electricity. Okay, similarly, you cannot live with AI in the near future or presently also. And sir talked about ChatGPT very well, that nowadays we stopped using Google and the ChatGPT is now a new form of Google every day. But as a leader, and particularly keeping HR as a function in my mind, technology is only enabler. You have to keep in mind, okay, that it is going to assist you. It is not going to take the decision for you, okay. And how can I leverage that particular technology for my day-to-day HR-related, decisions? I'm going to share a story with you. Okay? So the story is that when I lead my team, I have to keep my future in mind. That okay, what are the emerging trends which I can see in future? Okay, and depending on that, I select people in my team, which are the right people, which are the right skills which we need to hire or grow in my team. While doing so, I have one analysis plan in my mind, and I do it by my experience, because I know that these are the emerging fields, these are the emerging needs of my company. So just to give you an example here is that I am developing a capability for my organization. I am not going to name that because of confidential reasons. And we started that, okay, we started very early that this is a trend which we are going to pick in the future. And how can we start that? There were two challenges which we were facing. One was talent like you, which are very energetic, new ideas, but lack experience. And second one is people like us who are experienced, but there is a gap in terms of technology because the technology is changing very fast. And how can we make the bridge between these two? Okay. So initially we leverage the experience of the people, okay, to create some rules and help our HR functions to develop, screen process, developing methodology. But we change the way we are doing and how we utilize AI and data science to do the right pick of the people and as well as giving the rewarding career. So the most important thing in AI is data. Okay, data is the important thing from where you start. And how AI takes the decision here is, anybody who can answer me that how AI takes the decision? Any brave enough who tells me that how AI works in a simple word? Any guesses?
AI has its own database of the required data image and processes, and then it derives the meaningful information out of it.
Okay. So, like when we were kids, okay, our mom and dad says, this is apple, this is banana, this is orange, this is car. Okay, they showed us a picture, right? So nowadays, you just give example to the AI algorithm, and automatically it trains itself to give you the future answers. That's the artificial intelligence which we are talking about. Okay? In the HR function, you can collect lot of data in doing so. So what are the data which we talked about? Your resume, which we talked about. Okay, it has a lot of rich information. Then your evaluation. So we collect all the evaluation. Okay? Okay, this was the candidate, this is the evaluation feedback, these are the questions which we got. Then what was the outcome? Okay, the outcome of that particular interview process. And then we see the journey of the candidate. So we keep on collecting all this information into our database. Okay, so if we collect all this information and then start taking the decisions with using artificial intelligence, it is going to help a lot of things. And as sir talked about, we are in a job where we have to make people successful. You wanted to be successful, right, in your career? Nobody wants to fail, right? But in academics, for an example, you score 60%, 80%, 90%, but when you are working in professional world, marks will not be. Okay? Because there is no marks, right? It's a relative performance. How do you contribute? And in my experience, everybody unique, brings unique experiences, unique skills. It is like, we have to create a rainbow of a team. So it's a teamwork. Now, how do I collect that right color? Because I don't want to have rainbow only of red. I don't want to have a rainbow of only white, yellow. I want to have a picture in my rainbow. Okay? And similarly, you will be very good in a particular skill. If I tell you that, for an example, if you are not good in coding, okay, and I tell you, okay, you have to do the coding, whereas you are good in something else, okay, where I can give you the track of growing into the organization. How can I do it? So all this has been done using artificial intelligence of nowadays. Okay? And I would suggest all of you to learn a lot in this particular area, and I think I'm saying that it's like enabler. It will not take the decision for you. Okay? Now, what is the future of HR in this particular industry? So the challenges which HR team faces here is one is bringing right resume, right profile to us. Okay? And generally the current mechanism here is that you use keywords in Naukri portal or some other portals, and they come up with the resumes, and resumes don't tell the complete story. Okay? Now, what we can do, that we have a resume, we have a success stories in our organization. If we tell, okay, these are the persona of this particular resume, how does it match with success stories which we have using artificial intelligence or some algorithm? Okay? Then I know that this particular person, though he has not written this, but he would be a good in this. So even it helps us to find the right talent, because sometimes what happens is most of the candidates does not write or articulate very well. So latent, I think one of the questions which you ask in your questionnaire also, latent skills. So we identify latent skills using that. And similarly, when we taking the interview, people write lot in their resumes. Okay? And how do we judge it? The judge is that depth of experience and the conceptual thing which we have. Okay? Then again, I am very good in taking the interview, but my subordinates will not be very good in that. So I can use my artificial intelligence to find out the quality of the interview which happened. That's the second step. Once the candidate is selected, I know complete about these are the strong areas. So I will match the job which I want to give them to that particular individual. Okay. So I know that this particular individual is good in coding or mathematics. I will give them the exposure to that particular area. How is it going to help me? Because as I talked about, it's a teamwork. I need mathematicians, I need programmers, I need strategic thinker in my team. Okay? I don't want mathematician, for example, to do the strategic thinking, because they are not good at that. So once we bring all this color together, it's create a team, and this particular team is high performing. So that's a present. Okay? How can we give the future career to everybody? Okay? So again, this particular data comes very handy to us, that we know about this particular person has, let's say, strategic thinking, and we can grow that particular individual to, let's say, Chief Innovation Officer. So he has to go through different phases, right trainings, okay, right kind of exposure, okay, right kind of projects which you wanted to give. So again, this artificial intelligence create learning path, okay, to those individuals and provide. So now there are immense opportunity. Now it's up to us that we adopt this particular technology in our head and leave. I would not say leave completely, but we have to take a leap, okay, in adopting this technology, use on day-to-day basis. I would encourage all of you. I gave the snippet of some of the things which we are doing in the industry. Take as academic projects in your respective area. Play with it so that you can adopt this artificial intelligence or machine learning in your day-to-day activity. Rather than you can master be a complete gambit, but you can adopt these machine learning through these project machine learning and understand that how it is going to help you in the future. Okay? Don't take it like a only academic literature or something. Unless until you apply it on your day-to-day basis, you will not pick the concept. And these are the very good examples. It's easy to collect the data nowadays. and implementing your academy. So with that, I will stop myself and hand it over back to the host.
Thank you so much, sir, for an insightful session. Our next speaker will delve into traditional versus AI-driven approaches in recruitment. Dr. Shivam Srivastava will walk us through how organizations are balancing human insight with the power of AI to enhance recruitment practices.
So, good morning to everyone, and I think Ashish has covered a lot on the AI. I will focus on, and I'm not going to talk about what, the theoretical world. I will talk about what I do as a practice leader in my company, in my organization, how we kind of using AI to hiring process. So right from writing the job descriptions. So because in any organization you will have HR functions. Within HR function there are kind of different groups. One is catering to talent management, one is catering to the policy implementation, and there is one team which kind of takes care of the hiring part. So they don't know the necessities of writing the right job description, because that's the first step to get a right candidate. So if you have the right inputs, what kind of skills, domain expertise, and then the experience that we need for a particular role. So that comes the first step is the job description, which we leverage as an AI portal to write that. Earlier traditional words, we need SMEs to write those job description, who are the kind of project managers or the delivery leaders. They need to define what all parameters or these components they need in the particular person, like skill, experience, expertise, and the domain skills. So now we leverage AI to create job description, and the next step is, once we get the bunch of resumes, how to shortlist out of those resumes. So the AI model helps us to kind of figure out the snippet and summary of each profile. So this is on various parameters Ashish defined in the Naukri portal. You apply certain filters. Similar, the AI model also uses certain skills, experience, also the candidate profiling in terms of whether they possess their Git repository, etc., and kind of experience projects they have done. Basis on that, it defines the richness score. This candidate's job profile is matching with the job description on a certain score. So based on those result scores, we filter out the resumes, and then there comes a human in loop concept that reviews those shortlisted profiles which go for the next round of interview. Again, on the next round of interview that happens, maybe the virtual or saying to face. There we also leverage nowadays, I think with the technology evaluation, lot of fake profiles, fake interviews are happening, because you are doing conducting a virtual interview. There is a person sitting in front of your video, is so smart that he's just doing a lip syncing. The person sitting just next to him is answering the question, and we face this very often, that somebody else is answering on behalf of someone. So we need to figure out, so what is that, how many times candidate is switching the screen, how he's maintaining the eye contact, etc. So that score is also prepared, that these are the steps that you need to follow. So that's how I think influencing entire recruitment process at the each step. We are leveraging AI and we are making use of it. Also, I think one topic that we needed to touch upon, the ethical and AI consideration of AI. Lot of customers, and I would say not a single customer have said this. So every customer, when we go into the discussion, they ask about how we ensure the data privacy, the ethical consideration, and the ethical uses of AI. So, in all the LLMs and GPTs are leveraging billions of parameters, lot of data. If you pass on your data to LLMs, obviously it is accessible to the wider world. So how you restrict your LLMs to kind of confine within the restrained environment so that your data is protected, it gives the right insight, what you desired for, the model is behaving, the intent it has been designed for. The other concept that comes into the prompt engineering, so wherever the business acumen comes in the role, how we need to guide the model, because the prompt engineering is the concept that you need to narrate the LLM what it needs to do a job. Like a robot, you need to tell what the robot has to perform. similar to that, AI model also needs to be told what job it needs to perform, and that's where the prompt engineering part comes. So I think a message to all the students: build your portfolio, think about the real life problems, and you need not to search the wider world. Think about the problems kind of surrounding you. It could be like education related or social issues, and try to find out data. Now, I think the industry on the portals is so mature that a lot of data is freely available for you to explore. Explore the Git libraries and try to build your own use cases, because the hiring process is just not look at the academic score and just your kind of say degree. It is beyond that. We look for how students have used their own time to build their own projects, their own kind of use cases, and how well they explain about that. So that's kind of becomes key criteria for us, any student, to talk about the confidently what projects they have done, how they have learned over this, what was their own contribution. They could have done it in a group setting, but if they talk well about what they have contributed, they know well about the problem, how the solution was designed, that becomes a key criteria for us to hiring. I think that's I think I will give a rest. If any question, I am happy to take that.
Question answer session after.
Thank you so much, sir. Mode of bargaining with AI in the legal industry. We are honored to have with us Mr. Trivedi, who will share insights on how AI is influencing collective bargaining in legal frameworks. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Trivedi. We welcome you.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, it's ironical that we have artificial intelligence and we have human intelligence. So collective human intelligence has been given a very capitalistic word called human resource. But even every resource, as we say and as we know, is limited in scope, but human potential has no ends. So we are going to talk about, today is a little technical topic which I have been given. So I will take you through the first aspect of my discussion, and the second aspect of the discussion will have as a lawyer, because I know there are a lot of law students and Masters of Business Administration, MBA students. How many of you are MBA students and law students? Could you raise your hand? MBA students first, please. Quite a full, and law students? All right. Okay, so now I should officially start. First of all, thank you so much. A very warm, energetic and a joyful good morning to everyone. My fellow speakers, it's a privilege. It's always amazing to be in gatherings with non-lawyers and non-legal minds. Otherwise, we are surrounded by only legal minds. I think there is so much which I could learn. As a youngster myself, I said I could learn from all three of my fellow speakers. And I must say that it's very enlightening to even hear the practical aspect of it and the leadership aspect of it. Now, importantly, I would like to start by thanking Professor Vikas Anand Saab, Director Saab. You are, it's always such a brings a huge smile whenever I'm, to see you. I think the students over here are very fortunate. I'm sure we all have our own little judgments about the professors, but few things which they tell you when you grow up in life, you remember few anecdotes which you have, and that's what college and university life is all about. And all of you sitting behind, I remember we were also there a couple of years back. But let me tell you, whenever you have expert domains coming and visiting your colleges, there might be one or two things which might hit you. So we might come here and say around 2,000 words, but one or two word sentences probably if you take back home with you, and especially at this juncture when you're looking for jobs, for employment. Let me tell you, one of my professors when I was doing my LLM in Leiden, so I went for my LLM, and one of the professors, I asked them, that as an Indian student coming from India, studying in Delhi University, Sriram College of Commerce, So campus placement was something which we all craved for. Why did we want to go to IIT or IIM? Because we want to get campus placement, highest packages, so on and so forth. Then when I went to Leiden, I asked myself very innocently, as lost as probably some of you are, what is the situation for campus placement here? Nobody has heard this phrase and this concept, because they said that the university is a place where you go to learn about universe, and you equip yourself with the knowledge you gain, and then you are out there in the open world to take up your own challenges. So here you learn, and then it's not the university's job. Obviously here we are assisting you, and the university is doing a great job having these brochures to find suitable employability for you. But ultimately your human connect is the most important impact which you're going to have. So I must say, before I start, that after this conference, all of you, MBA, you have top leaders from industry, some of you are law students, I have 12-15 years of experience. You can come speak to us individually, interact with us, ask us practical questions, the questions which we cannot answer from here. Then it's going to be a very fruitful exercise, and all your professors are doing such an incredible work to put all of you together, hopefully not forcefully to be in this room to hear, a few word men, but have that interaction. Thank you so much, ma'am. Dean, ma'am, thank you. It's always a pleasure. So I'll start. So my topic which I've been giving today is about employee privacy, which is employee privacy, artificial intelligence in recruitment, and the changing role of trade unions. And I'm going to give you a perspective on the Indian context. As India rapidly moves towards becoming a digital economy, we all are using Paytm nowadays. As India rapidly moves towards becoming a digital economy, artificial intelligence and data-driven decision making, something which my learned friend Ashish was talking about, has become the AI systems in recruitment and the evolving role of trade unions in the age of artificial intelligence. So as India moves forward, we are creating a very significant impact. Artificial intelligence is creating a significant impact in industries like information technology, banking, manufacturing, and even agriculture. But as AI begins to dominate workplaces, as we practically heard, and in fact, Dr. Srivastava really mentioned that we gave a critical example about how human intellect is trying to use artificial intellect to defeat human intellect. But as AI begins to dominate workplaces, it raises important questions about privacy, fairness in hiring, and how trade unions, which is long time, has been a backbone of workers' representations in India, can adapt to the new digital reality. India is uniquely positioned as a country that balances a large tech-savvy workforce with a deep-rooted tradition of labor movements. However, new technologies such as artificial intelligence are reshaping both employment practices and the nature of collective bargaining. Today, I'll walk you through the opportunities and challenges AI presents in these areas. So the first thing I will talk about is employee privacy and AI in the Indian workplace. With the rise of AI, Indian organizations are collecting and processing more and more data than ever, often without fully explaining to employees how that data is being used. This trend presents serious privacy concerns, especially given that India is in the process of solidifying the data protection framework. Now, data collection and consent, most importantly consent. In India, many workers are unaware of the extent to which their personal data is being collected by employers. This ranges from biometric attendance systems to AI-driven productive monitoring, especially from work from home concepts. The upcoming Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023, now the legislature is in place, would help address these concerns by giving individuals more control over their data, but implementation and awareness remains key challenges. So today we are hopefully being more aware about our data which we exchange. But there is a pressing need for transparency and informed consent. In the workplace, instance, employees might not fully understand how AI is being used in recruitment or evaluation process. Where I strongly believe that employees must know what data is being collected and, more importantly, how it is being used. a logarithmic bias and discrimination. India's diversity in caste, religion, gender, women can pose challenges when AI systems are trained on historical data which reflect traditional social biases. For example, the recruitment practice for large companies that might inadvertently prioritize candidates from certain urban and affluent backgrounds, excluding rural or marginalized communities. AI systems can sometimes exacerbate existing inequalities if not properly regulated and importantly audited. Balancing privacy with efficiency. While AI offers companies in India remarkable efficiency in streamlining recruitment, as we talked about, and managing workforces, it must be balanced with employees' right to privacy, with work from home arrangements nowadays becoming more common post-pandemic. Companies are using AI-based surveillance tools to monitor productivity, which can further blur boundaries between personal and professional life. The second part I will talk about is artificial intelligence in recruitment and employment practices in India. I think most of it is covered by my learned friend Dr. Srivastava giving practical examples. Inadvertently favor urban candidates who have better access to technology and interested in internet resources. Bridging this gap will be essentially if AI is to be applied fairly across all sectors of Indian society. Now, I don't know if it's possible or not. Algorithmic transparency. As AI-driven hiring becomes more common, the issue of transparency becomes critical. Workers in India should have the right to understand how they are being assessed by artificial intelligence systems. Algorithmic transparency must be a part of HR processes, ensuring that candidates can challenge unfair decisions, especially in cases where biasness may have influenced the outcome. Now, the third aspect is regarding the collective bargaining for trade unions. Now, trade unions have a long and storied history in India. From the textile workers from Bombay to the railway unions that have been instrumental in labor movements, but with AI disrupting traditional labor markets, Indian trade unions face a new challenge: how to adapt collective bargaining at digital age. Now, AI's impact on job security. One of the most immediate concerns for trade unions in India is the potential for job displacement due to AI. Sectors like manufacturing, agriculture, and even IT services are seeing increasing automation. Trade unions will need to negotiate with employers to ensure that workers displaced by AI are given opportunities for reskilling and upskilling. For example, unions representing workers in the automobile sector or textile industries must ensure that AI and automation do not result in mass layoffs without support for those affected. Collective bargaining for data and algorithmic transparency. With the growing role of AI in determining wages, promotions, performance and appraisals, trade unions need to advocate for data rights as part of their collective bargaining agenda. Just as unions negotiate for wages and benefits, they must now negotiate for algorithmic transparency, ensuring that workers have access to the data being used to evaluate them and the right to challenge their unfair decisions made by AI systems. Now, importantly, these are probably some of the companies all of you will in the future might be applying for. Another significant challenge for trade unions is organizing workers in the gig economy, a sector deeply influenced by artificial intelligence. Companies like Uber, Zomato, and Swiggy. In fact, Swiggy this morning, the news said that they are filing for their IPO now, the stock market, for MBA students. Zomato and Swiggy relied heavily on the AI algorithms to allocate tasks and set wages for their delivery workers. These workers, often treated as independent contractors, fall outside the traditional labor protection and regulations. However, unions like the Indian Federation of App-Based Transport Workers have begun organizing gig workers to demand better wages and work conditions. Unions in India will need to expand their reach to include platform-based workers and negotiate for transparency in how AI systems determine pay and work conditions. Now, in conclusion, I must say that AI is definitely transforming the Indian workplace at an unprecedented scale, from the impact on employee privacy to revolutionizing recruitment practices and reshaping the role of trade unions. The AI-driven future presents both challenges and opportunities. India must strike a balance between embracing innovations and protecting the right and dignity of its workers, which is through transparency, fairness, and most importantly, accountability. How AI is integrated into its employment practices. As AI continues to reshape industries, Indian trade unions will need to play a critical role in advocating for workers, ensuring that the benefit of AI are shaped equally and that no one is left behind. Now, having said that, this was the legal perspective and a general perspective about how collective bargains can be done for trade unions in the future and how employers collectively are using data tools. But from the point of privacy, data protection, privacy, what really at the end of the day matters is consent. Now in the modern day, we are compelled to use Uber because of the price demand, the economics aspect of it, the price demand perfect economic market where supply and demand determines price. However, consent is very crucial, so we have to be very careful. Having said that, I think just on a personal note, I just quickly finish my speech. It's that what makes, I always, ask, this is something which I should tell myself, that what makes what makes the human species different from any other species on this planet? We are also mammals technically. Yes, please.
Sir, the principle and ethics on which the human is working.
Do you think animals do not have ethics? Dog is the man's best friend. Isn't your dog more ethical? They are emotional support dogs. They are dogs for visually impaired people.
Sir, इसीलिए तो वो impactful है हमारी society में. कहते हैं ना कि dogs are more loyal than humans. So they are.
Yes, please. Guys, let's hear him out. He said something interesting. Absolutely. My learned friend Dean states, some of you didn't hear it, he says dogs are more loyal than men. But are they more loyal than gentlemen? There's a difference between a boy, a man, and a gentleman. Right? So now, having said that, just to get back to it, so what I was saying is that what makes human beings as human species different from any other species on this planet? Now, I feel that a dolphin can be very intelligent, sharks are very intelligent, whales, dogs, whoever you want to consider, but a human mind, a human intellect, even somebody, if I may say so, somebody who is 2 feet and 8 inches, working in a circus, can give a command to an elephant to stand on 2 feet and create an act of humor for the entire circus. Somebody with a height of 2 feet can make a lion jump across to a ring of fire in a circus for the entertainment of others. Correct? Guys, are you with me? Right? When we go to a circus back in the days, when they were less of animal rights, I'm glad things are changing now. So for the entertainment of others, we used to have all sorts of, we could make a dolphin jump out of the water, right? So but a man or a woman, for the entertainment of others, can make each and every other species trainable under him. In 1904, when the Wright brothers invented the airplane, there was a study which said that the commercial flight would not be a possibility for the next thousands of years. 1904, when the plane was invented, they said that a commercial flight will not be a possibility for the next 800 to 1000 years. But human mind was bombing each other in World War II, in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Pearl Harbor, in less than 4 decades. So all I want to say, what makes us different than any other species on this world is human intellect, is this. And no matter, जिसे कहते हैं पूरी दुनिया आपके खिलाफ हो जाए, आपका दिमाग आपके खिलाफ नहीं जा सकता. So that's what the power of human intelligence is. And artificial intelligence will always be artificial. And probably next time we can talk about artificial intelligence for the efficiency of Indian judiciary. I think we really need that. But thank you so much for your time. Really thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Finally, we turn to an essential conversation on challenges and ethical considerations of AI in recruitment. Our esteemed speaker, politician, is Mr. Cobi, who will share valuable insights on how to ethically navigate AI-driven recruitment in today's fast-paced world.
First of all, thank you to Dr. Vikas for inviting me here, and my fellow panel members who have been already giving a lot of information about AI and its applicability. And thank you all the students. I know how it is to wake up early in the morning and go for a panel discussion where people who have more than 10 years experience are sharing their knowledge. So I'll begin. So my topic is to basically share the role of AI in recruitment, the challenges, as well as the ethical part of it. Now when we say the role of AI in recruitment always has two sides, demand and supply. The recruiter who is hiring someone and job seeker who is looking for a job. So I'll give you both the overview of how it is in the recruitment right now, how AI is being used. Now AI as a standalone is nothing. Everything is built to solve a problem. If there is a problem, there is an existing solution, how an AI can improve it. Or there is a problem which cannot be solved, how AI is able to solve it. Now from the recruiter point of view, I'll highlight sort of three key problem statements where recruiters are already working upon. First is forecasting how much a recruiter, how much a student or how much a lateral candidate someone has to hire. Now we live in a situation where geopolitics, economies are very volatile. Every month there is a news and every year there is a different kind of economy we see. Now AI is helping to analyze all that data in a single place. So you imagine a recruiter is hiring 10,000 all across geographies. Next year they may have to hire 12,000 or maybe 8,000 itself. How AI will enable that data analysis? You know what? Based on the data which you have provided, that these are my business forecasts. I will be going into Australia for my expansion. I will be expanding within India in 10 new geographies. And for that I will be establishing 10 franchisees. And every franchisee may have average of 10 people involved. So these kind of data will help them to visualize that for the next year I will need to hire 10,000 people. Now understand the intricacies of it. When we do campus placements, colleges are spread all across the Indian geography. If you read ASHI report, there are around 50,000 colleges, and out of that, 90% are dominated by BA, BCom, BTech. So that is where AI comes in, which analyzes a lot of data and gives you very granular insight and directionally strategic call that this is what I want to do. Now this is one thing. Now once you have decided, you know what, I want to hire this, how do I enable myself as a recruiter that which skill I should hunt for, and how do I get those students out of that or a lateral entry from that skill. Now in that there is a two segment. First is to define the skill set, and as Ashish really pointed out, the job description, which gives a detailed chart of that, you know what, I want to hire a sales representative, or I want to hire maybe a marketing guy. For marketing, I need to have these 5 skill sets in that person. Now, defining that itself is a challenge because a lot of people don't put so much emphasis on analyzing that these are the skills which will enable platforms like Naukri to get them more relevant audience. So, for example, I may write, you know what, from a sales perspective, since I meet a lot of guys who are hiring for sales, we say, you know what, we need people who are very go-getter. Now, how do you, from a system or a student perspective, define a go-getter? Right? These are the insights which helps AI is helping us to define. I'll give you an example. A recruiter on Naukri portal, they log in, they'll write, okay, I need to find maybe a Java guy in Delhi for my company. 3 lines. Our AI engine expands that 3 lines into a 2-pager description which feeds into the AI system. And because we have the entire context of company, where they hire from, what kind of people they hire, what kind of geographies they are looking for. On the candidate side also, we know that what candidates are looking for job like this. So that is the complexity of AI which helps recruiter to figure out, you know what, while giving just 2-3 inputs, I can get the entire outcome to me. Now the third important is, which every recruiter is chasing, the efficiency and cost optimization. So why and how do we define efficiency? So in recruitment terms, the efficiency is primarily driven by need to hire ratio. I need 100 people, I hire only 1, that is my efficiency. Or I maybe take 6 months to hire that one guy, that is also efficiency. Or I spend 10 lakhs out of just hiring for a person who I'll be paying 3 lakhs, that is also efficiency. Now, just taking an example, lot of companies who hire these frontline sales, right? They put emphasis on communication. And what happens is that they just invite people in bulk and then they do interview one by one. Okay, you tell me about yourself. And then they judge based on their decision making that, okay, you know, this person is good in speaking, so okay, let's move to the second round. So their need to hire ratio is very poor. And that is where a lot of assessments are coming in, which are enabling them through that, you know what, based on 5 parameters of speech, which includes your vocabulary, the way you speak, the punctuation. These are the skill set which you require. The AI will help them gauge their existing hiring patterns and then calibrate the tools based on that input, and candidates will go through that assessment and companies will know, you know what, before I was meeting 100 candidates from to hire 1 student, now I am meeting only 10 candidates to hire that 1 student. So that is where AI is putting a lot of efficiency into the system. Now again, one important part, the pattern recognition, which Ashish was also talking about. The cycle of recruitment also means retention, right? The better I retain an employee, the less number I may have to hire. So my cost of anyway hiring becomes low. AI is helping companies to recognize the pattern of the employee engagement within the company. So they know that employee has been consistently engaged with the company, he is doing that section, his ratings are good, his managers are saying right. A lot of data has been generated. Moment there is an outlier, right, that is being flagged to the company. You know what, this employee engagement is very less with the company or has deteriorated. What can you do to improve that so that that person doesn't leave? That is also where AI is coming into handy, because a lot of data is being generated and that is why they retain it. So the recruitment cycle not only means hiring, it also means hiring, engaging and retaining the employees. Now on the student part. Now from student perspective, you have resume maker, but there are plenty of other tools also available which help you to better articulate yourself. That you know what, I have personally seen, I think, thousands of resume myself and figure out 80% of the students on campus, because I represent Naukri campus also, so I continuously talk with students. 80% of the students not even have 1-pager CV, only half-pager CV, and they'll write 2-3 things about themselves and then they quit. And that is where all these tools, resume maker, help you better articulate your abilities. You know what, tell us about your internship. When you are telling about your internship, you don't mention these 5 things. And the AI help you to articulate that better also. I contributed these many things and that resulted into this. These are the kind of statement recruiter wants to read also when they are analyzing. While the project is same, but the way you articulate also creates very good impression on the recruiter's mind. So that is where AI is helping us a lot on the student front to give them an ability to better articulate, where a lot of students, and I was a student, we struggle to do that. And the third thing where we are trying to do, or an industry is trying to do, is how to reduce spam and fraud jobs. There are a lot of people who try to fraud students by asking them money or asking them upfront payment for no reason. So again, pattern recognition. The moment AI engine realizes that there is an outlier, a job posted which is asking money from students, how can we reduce that? So AI engine continuously works on that, figures out what is out of pattern, which jobs looking like a fraud job or a spam job, and removes it before it hits the student or any job seeker who is looking at it. So these are the three parameters where job seeker enablement is also there in terms of recruitment. Now, all looks very rosy and very good that AI is helping both, but there are obviously challenges. Now, while I say that resume maker helps you to better articulate, but then every student becomes, or every job seeker becomes best. Because you put in, prepare me a CV on ChatGPT, these are 5 skills, create their best CV. And when student reads it, recruiter reads it, okay, this is fine, then your model is trained on very good data, then obviously everyone is shortlisted. So that is one challenge. While we do that resume maker helps you, we also emphasize that student enters something which they have actually done and not totally depend on ChatGPT or any other AI model, because then eventually once you get an interview, people will understand, right, that you have just modified it, right. And another challenges which we face is that, as panel member also emphasized, that how to ensure that the model the data on which the model is trained is not biased. I'll give you an example. There's a big e-commerce company in India also. They built an AI model for recruitment shortlisting. What was happening, because tech is heavily dominated by male candidates, the model was also shortlisting male candidates because there is a biasness in the training data. So AI is as good as your data, which a lot of panel members also emphasize, that if you only give one directional data to the AI model to train, they will become biased towards that data. So it is very important that a lot of these data has to be anonymized and a lot of these variable has to be removed from the data so that your model is unbiased. So these are the challenges. The ethical part, I think one of us have already covered, that there has to be transparency to a certain level, that how system works and how the AI is being, on what data AI has been trained upon, and if the data itself is clean and is homogeneous enough to certain that, you know what, this AI model works on my use case and is unbiased towards any of the user segment. So with that, I will close my session. I hope you have found something to learn today. But the important thing is, while AI is there, it is an enabler which will help you to scale to a better. It is something like when computer came, a lot of people said everything will vanish, but it enables a new use cases, more broad use cases. That, you know what, a human can do something which we never realized, right? So similarly, ChatGPT or AI is an enabler which will help us to achieve even greater heights as a human. So with that, thank you again, Vikas.
Thank you, sir, for addressing the crucial ethical concerns that come with AI in recruitment. Now that we have heard from our distinguished speakers on various phases of AI's impact on HR and legal practices, it's time for a moderated discussion where we bring together their diverse perspectives on the central theme of AI and HR, navigating the future of work for future leaders and learners. To guide this insightful discussion, we invite our moderators, Aditya Raj from BLLB Semester 9 and Karthik Sharma from BBA Semester 5, who will now take the floor to engage our speakers in an enriching conversation, after which we will open the floor to audience questions. Over to you, Karthik.
It has an ingestion period, like 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, depending on that. Similarly, in the job, in any industry, if you understand what are the industry trends, okay, and you analyze it, and it gives you even, we can use AI or you can use secondary research to find out what are the industry trends which are going on. We capture it and what is the need period for that. Okay, to invest in your organization, these will help you to prepare for the future. What will be the needs for the future, and accordingly you can plan things internally.
Thank you for the insightful response, sir. So, Shivam sir, what's your opinion or point of view? The thing said by Ashish sir.
Basically, yes, I think he rightly said, the innovation and all that we kind of driving to. The AI use is essential in any form, be it medical sciences, be it into corporates, be it in academics, everywhere. So the influx that has came of AI, I mean, if somebody kind of still thinks it's a myth, then it's a bigger challenge for them, because if you don't, move along with this, wave, probably you will be left behind. So the uses of AI will come in form of every spaces of your life, be it like, like from the education, then you go into jobs, then into treatments, hospitals. Everybody is kind of trying to make use of AI in terms of their own way, be it like surgeries and all, treatments, protocols, the way kind of drugs going to be administered. And now in the field of corporates, each is like in the customers, how we kind of interact with them, the problem statement they are coming up. It's mostly like, even if they have the low-end operational job, they're trying to say what Gen AI can help, or say AI can help to streamline or bring the cost efficiencies. The value and the cost and the efficiency, three are the driving factor to uses of AI. So yeah, that's what my take is.
Right, sir. So can I say, make AI your slave, not your boss?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Sir, can I say, make AI your slave, not your boss? Because if you are not in the position to control AI, it will
I
destroy.
firmly believe that, because human mind is more superior, and in any form we will have human in loop to override the decision or the outcome, because AI is what? You have something pre-trained model, those are like trained on the billion of parameters, so the parameters is what? The data. The historical data or events based on that they have been trained on. Their result and prediction will be based on the historical patterns and outcomes. Now the human brain will come into picture to analyze the current situation and make a decision. Whether that outcome is right in current scenario or not, the human brain can override that. So yes, in all form, like in the recruitment, also in like a candidate selection, or with any form, the human brain will override further. So again,
just to add what Shivam said, and I think Harsh captured that very, very beautifully. It's human creativity and intellect. Okay. So for an example that you had to build your house. Okay. If you ask AI model, I want to build a house, it will give you 1,000 things, right? And if you chase that, it will not find the right solution. Maybe it is going to satisfy, but it is not going to satisfy your spouse, kids, your daughters, sons, kids. So if you start with what I want, you have clear objective, a clear problem in your mind. That's only human can do that. And then there is the tool to answer that. So yes, it's kind of a tiger. You have to tame it, but I think humans can do it, provided they think about the problem, structure the problem clearly, and then use these tools effectively to solve them and answer them.
Right, sir. Now I want to move on to the most important factor, like what are the biases, the limitations that AI is having and that AI is carrying in industries. So my next question is, what are the potential biases and limitations that every manager, that every company has to shore or have to take into account to smoothly administer their activities?
Okay. And again, I will keep it like HR perspective. Cobi talked about a lot, about this particular topic. That because AI is depending on data, right? Whatever the data you will provide, it will give you the answer. Okay. So for an example, that my data data is dominated by, let's say, urban centers. Okay, so obviously my model will be biased to hire people from the urban centers. Okay? So obviously we have to enrich the data continuously in such a way that it does not become the bias. That's number one. Number two, it's a long journey. It's not like tomorrow maybe you will have unbiased data. So initially what we need to do here is not take a decision blindly. Okay. So it is used as an indicator. Okay. And also use your human intellect in reviewing the output which you are getting and provide the feedback back to the data and the AI so that we can enrich it continuously. Okay. So I will give you one example. Okay, practical example. So I went to the campus, very prestigious campus, among the top 5, and I was taking the interviews. Okay, and obviously during the interview process, I met a guy who came from a rural background. Very irrelevant, and he has very good academics in 10, 12, but he was not able to articulate himself very well. And reason for that was because he came from an humble background. But he has a great potential, and that potential can be only identified by human being, not the AI model. If that had been the AI model, that individual has been rejected. But we knew that potential by interviewing it. Obviously, resume was there, that was a primary thing. Then when you talk to the individual and see that, okay, there are certain biasness a particular communication has or interview data points which we have, then we provided the feedback back to the process that this is a good guy, let's hire. Then tomorrow when the data will be more purified, your biasness will slowly get addressed.
I think what Ashish said, I just wanted to add. So the attitude aspect you can't get through the AI, right? AI can give you about the candidate matching the score, what he has done, what his skill is for this. The attitude part can be only judged by the human. So I think that's where the human in the loop is very important.
So we can say to some extent that AI is curtailing the innovation if we entirely rely upon AI. Because we need innovation in every single industry, let it be from healthcare to the new industries we are developing, like we are making cars, we are making rockets or mobile phones. To some extent, there is human innovation required for making any technology whatsoever. We came from pretty much useless chips we had in the 90s, now we are sitting at Intel's i9, i7s, they are wonderful chips, so much powerful. We can say that AI will be taking a beat to somewhat of the human innovation in the industry, so please. It's open to all the panelists actually.
AI is an enabler because in the innovation aspect also, we are making use of AI to kind of be in the speed and cost aspect. So Ashish and Ms. were discussing about pharma industry challenges. The cycle of pharma is almost from the conceptual of say a drug or a disease to 12 years, right, coming to the market. How we can use AI, from identifying the right set of molecules and then kind of processing through phases of clinical trials and coming to cutting down that cycle, right, so that you have more period to be in the market. So my take is it's an enabler, not it's kind of hindering you as an innovation.
And just to add further, so how AI is transforming, think of medical sector. Very good example. Let's suppose that in India, there are a lot of people who get blind because they don't get the cure at the right moment. If I develop an AI solution where use your mobile phone to take a picture and you tell you need a doctor, because doctor cannot reach everywhere, right? Even he can tell a small, let's say, healthcare worker that will take a picture, right? And then we can solve a lot of problems. So AI with the right use case and the application is creating a lot of opportunities. So the innovation is thriving. It's up to us that is how to use it.
That's why I also want to mention AI works upon algorithmic comprehensions and the future trends, records that is being set and established in them by the developers. So that's how AI will be impacting on various industries according to the situational approach and the operations that the company has to manage. Now it's up to you.
Thank you so much, Karthik. Before I start, I'd just like to give you a small talk talk that I had with a friend of mine. So me from the legal background and the whatever limited know-how I have about AI and its particular involvement in the HRing or the hiring process, there's a really close friend of mine. He did his BTech from a prestigious institute. And we were talking one day and he told me that he'll be sitting in an interview round of a very prestigious company. So I asked how it went. He said when the interview started, he was asked, please tell us about yourself. He replied with, I really rather not because I intend to keep this job that I secured. So my basic question will be that, sir, from you, sir, that are the existing labor laws and regulations that we have in the country as enforced at this particular point of time, are they sufficient enough to address the evolving relation between the AI and the trade unions or the laborers or the employers? Because it is an involving parameters and the law we see that the legislature takes a fair share of time. So please, sir.
So, first thing is that before I answer your question, when we were having these discussions, I was just thinking that as a layman who's not very tech friendly, even I'm carrying my laptop, I'm still carrying my physical printout of my speech because that's the level I want to rely on technology. That's one. So I was just thinking right now while we're having this conversation before I answer your question, there is something called faster, something called cheaper, and something called better. So faster and cheaper, maybe AI and technology, इसमें जाकर के, for example, gang rape. Because so Indian Penal Code 1860 did not have a separate provision, penal provision for gang rape, which came when? Which came now. So that's something as basic as criminal law, which inflicts direct penalization on somebody's life and liberty.
And that is, we see every single.
Yes.
Even that also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, yesterday only something as dynamic. Yesterday there was an announcement that now the insurance of vehicles should be proportionately expensive or cheaper corresponding to your traffic violation. So now, this is yesterday's news. As lawyers and as MBA grads, as humans basically, not relying on artificial intelligence, you have to be really dynamic and contemporary with what is happening. So now it says कि अगर आपकी गाड़ी के चलान ज़्यादा है, तो आपका गाड़ी का इंश्योरेंस महंगा होगा.
Risky driver है आप basically.
That will be a performance. Now this impact can this technology can only happen when we have artificial intelligence data. First, we have to collect the data. What's the cost of average insurance? What's the number of penalties, so on and so forth? The increase which is highest in the country now. Somewhere it's coming around 19,000 as wages. That's not even the starting litigation salary you get in a serious chamber. Right? So importantly, one needs to realize that even when we are talking about labor laws, right? We're talking about labor laws. It's going to take some time for artificial intelligence to reach that, to have that regulation in labor market, because it's an uncontrolled sector. It's not a monitored sector. And there is no, we are still in the process of data collection. Right now as we speak, the state, Bihar, where I actually hail from, is doing a land survey. Because they don't have the data for lands. इसकी क्या कानूनी पैमाइश जिसे कहते हैं, this land survey basically, so that land survey exercise in Bihar is going on. Because most of the, Bihar is the state which supplies majority of laborers across the country. So there is no correct answer, I am sure, as a matter of time. I'll give a small anecdote, sir. So when I was appearing way back, when I was working with a law firm called Sarangal. So I was a young associate, and we were entrusted with a matter before the Honorable Supreme Court. And the Honorable Judge of the Supreme Court, I will not take the name, one of my favorite judges. And we were between Dr. Shivam and Mr. Cobi. So while we were agreeing, the matter, basically the case was that a human rights lawyer, he had filed a petition before the Honorable Supreme Court saying, and made Facebook, Google, and Instagram, these corporates and admin rights, they had made them parties. Now every time they used to be hearing at 10:25 in the morning from the library of the Supreme Court, they would take a printout
presented before the division bench, before the bench of the Honorable Supreme Court, and say that, my lords, Google is a company registered in India under the Companies Act. Now it's a, or if you want Google.in, which I did 5 minutes ago before entering this honorable courtroom, I saw content which was explicit, which is basically pornography, child pornography, unsolicited drugs, videos on YouTube on how to make bombs. So the honorable judge only used to ask one question: is Google a company? Is it a website? Now, if it is a Google, if it's a company, what is a company? A company is an artificial person created by law having a separate legal entity with a common sense. Yes. Remember that, right? Now, it's a registered company. Now, basically, the honorable judge was as old as my grandfather, could not understand the difference between a search engine and a website. तो अगर आपकी कंपनी की वेबसाइट पे ये पब्लिश हो रहा है, भले पेज नंबर 59 पे जा रहा है, तो आप लाइब्रेरी आप बंद होकर के वापस जाइए, मैं कैबिनेट का. That's how things are. So to have that concept, to answer your question, legal legislation, so on and so forth, till the time one is aware and one is abreast of the latest developments, the law will eventually follow for the people you choose to govern the country. So yeah,
so just another one, that we often face challenges regarding employees' privacy. Now, sir also said that many times we face the particular scenario that the resumes, the CVs, the curriculum writers are being made while using the artificial intelligence, and the moment I upload any of my personal data or I feed any of my personal data, it goes across the globe. Now, there will be privacy concerns, there will be data linkages. So, can we say that there will be an evolution in the Indian legal system trying to cover this? Because already with the IT Act, I think we are way behind and where we need to be right now.
See, first of all, let's understand that privacy comes under the garb of law of torts, or to address law of tort. When we talk about our civil rights, right now India as a country is still evolving, and I always say that India is younger than my grandmother. Bharat is 5,000 years ago, probably more. But India is a young country where social dynamic, there is a complete demand supply, lack of demand supply when it comes to certain level of skill set. But data privacy, yes, it's alarming, but we are in terms of legislation only comes into action when there is an inaction. So it depends upon individual liability in the law of laws as it evolves. In America there is a phrase called I will sue you, you will succeed in film. The reason it comes from because they are very particular about laws. Correct. Correct. So that enforcement of civil rights takes some time. And the law of torts is evolving, and probably by the time we have 2 generations now, we will have that civil rights.
I think it needs the bells and whistles to be ringed.
There has to be a legislative right now we have bigger and major issues to get away from that. Absolutely. And any data you are already getting on that side.
Right, absolutely. We already signing, I think, more than 100 forms that before we proceed, that you agree to give your data, to download the cookies and whatsoever. Thank you, sir. Sir, over to you. I just have a question that how does AI make sure the job matching and skill analysis are fair considering the diverse global organizations? Like how does it particularly specify?
So any model is not a static model that we have done a model and it is stayed there. It keeps on learning based on the outcome of it. Let's say I presented you a job on the portal and you click on it, you apply on it. That for us is a successful outcome. Right? Similarly for recruiter, if he sees a CV, he clicks on it, he contacts the student or a job seeker, that is a successful outcome. The model continues to learn. It evolves basis the outcome that you know what, I presented 10 jobs to this candidate and out of 10 this is the outcome I got. So this is working well for this candidate. Similarly it will continue to evolve. So it may have better efficiency or at a later stage while it continues to evolve. So that is why it is better to have an AI model than a static model, because if you have coded that's a static model. You know what, a student or a job seeker of this type has to apply on this type. That is more archaic and is biased toward the candidate than a learning model which continues to learn basis the outcome. So this is better range of study, better variability, and it is continuously learning without human intervention also. So the learning is the model. So that is why there is no as such static nature of the algorithm. So that is why it is better to have, that is why it maintains the overall sanctity of the model also for information organization out, because the model is learning on the outcome, not on the biases. Right? Every candidate is different. The model is learning according to each candidate.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much to the panel. We have a paucity of time, but we will be taking us through one or two questions from the audience. And I would like to say, as I am with co-director, sir, he said, we are humans and we work in teams. But with what I have heard in the AI Conclave today, I hope it doesn't translate to Microsoft Teams. Now, please, anybody who has the questions might be provided to you. Please stand at your respective places. You can ask any panelist the questions you have.
There is a lady.
Sir, I would like to ask, क्या AI हमारे टीचर्स को रिप्लेस सर ऐसे नहीं, मजाक में नहीं सर, एक बहुत सीरियसली पूछ रहा हूँ, क्या AI टीचर्स को रिप्लेस कर सकता है? इज इट दैट मच कैपेबल कि एक टीचर की नॉलेज या एक टीचर का इंटेलेक्ट, जो हम बात कर रहे थे ह्यूमन इंटेलेक्ट के बारे में, वो वाला इंटेलेक्ट AI के इंटेलेक्ट को ओवरकम कर दे, या AI का इंटेलेक्ट ज्यादा है टीचर से? इस बारे में
क्या AI पेरेंट्स को रिप्लेस कर सकता है?
Sir, I hope we don't see Android babies.
मेरे पास आईफोन है भाई.
While currently we are only talking about AI, the next wave, I was reading a research paper which will be AGI, the Artificial General Intelligence, which is supposed to be replacing the human intellect also, and it is estimated, because a lot of things are hypotheses, it may happen, it may not happen, then in the next 10 years, the AGI will have a capability of a campus student graduating. And then that is how the AI is evolving. So the moment we reach that stage, see what is AI? AI is basically mimicking how human can think, can take decisions, can articulate. So all these things are being trained upon. So now the next level where Silicon Valley is working upon is that AGI wave. So once we hit that, we'll start hitting that benchmark, that how a human is different from an AGI. So while this is a lot of theory and still work is done upon, we have to again focus on how we can enable ourselves and open more use cases to develop our ecosystem and develop humankind as such. But these kind of questions are there for every wave. Is computer going to replace human? No. It only enables us to enhance better. Similarly, AI will not replace us, it will enable us. Right? But we have to evolve better. So that is how you should take it.
मेरे हिसाब से ऐसे भी है कि AI जो होता है ना सर, जैसे पहले कंप्यूटर, सर ने बताया था कंप्यूटर आए थे तो लोग सोच रहे थे कि सारी चीजें खत्म होगी. मेरे हिसाब से AI, जैसे आज के टाइम पे क्लासरूम है, क्लासरूम में कंप्यूटर भी है, टीचर्स भी हैं. मेरे हिसाब से ऐसे ही AI और टीचर्स साथ मिलके चलेंगे तो बच्चों का साथ.
Basically, AI assisted classrooms. Do we look to that in the future?
So just to add here, we talked about AGI. AGI is happening right now. Okay. So just to give an example, that one of the company has created one artificial intelligence program where it can act like a programmer. Okay. Now the question is that are we going to replace human? Answer is no. Reason for that here is that it will slowly replace your day-to-day activity. Okay. For an example, that maybe earlier you were planning your day using your notepad. Now you can tell hey Google, tell me what are the important meetings which I have. Google has listened. Okay. So now it is telling you. So what is going to happen here is slowly all the mundane or repeated work will be replaced with the AI, and as we learn with the future, things will be slowly getting improved or better. Now, in classroom, going back to the example which you talked about, okay? Maybe you take a lecture, okay? You can take a very recorded lecture, or maybe AI-driven lecture also. But what comes with a teacher and experience here is that he brings a lot of experiences. Maybe practically, the way we wanted to do it today will be applicable because I have to be smarter. I have to do the things, same thing in lesser amount of time. So I have to move the tools right. Okay. So that's the adoption is happening and it's doing very well. It's helping business. They are also getting the things done. There are some implications on that, but overall it's very important.
Just to add on to what Ashish is saying, what I feel that because there is a mix of law students and MBA students here, so a lot of these answers when it comes to AI and the methods and technology involved might be true for corporates. But those of you who are from the legal fraternity now, as law students, the answer is no lawyer goes through an AI designated resume. We don't use it because we need, the judges don't operate by. I tell you when I see, now we get, if you're so lucky that out of 100 you can use technology to shortlist 10, we get on an average 1,000 resumes. And I personally, in order to give a fair chance, I go through it. I go through those emails. Now when I'm deciding which, because we are in HR talking about recruitment, as a law firm and then we get into hiring, we only see that how precise, dramatically is your resume. Is it in PDF format? Is it in a proper? Is it edited properly? Is the grammar correct? तो जहाँ पर वो dear sir का S छोटा हो जाएगा ना, शायद AI नहीं पकड़ पाएगा, but हम पकड़ लेते हैं. कि हमें लगता है कि अगर आप अपना resume, which is more important than everything else. Today there is a brochure here with your percentage from class 10, 11, 12, graduation through and through. Your resume is the most important one-page document of your life because it is a summary of your entire professional career with personal achievements, which has to be personalized. And if your attention to detail does not exist in a resume, no law firm will hire you because as a lawyer, your intent is, your basic nature is an attention and eye for detail. For a lack of better word, let's call it an OCD when it comes to grammar. जहाँ पर वर्ड फॉर्मेट में आपने भेज दिया रेज्यूमे किसी भी रिक्रूटर को फॉर एन इंटर्नशिप के लिए, तो हमारा पहला ख्याल होता है कि अगर अपने रेज्यूमे को सीरियसली नहीं लिया तो इंटरव्यू में बुलाना ही नहीं है. So मतलब it's you get most of you, some people feel that thousands of resumes, I have applied to hundreds of places, but why am I not getting accepted? Because it's like email marketing, it's like a spam call. कि आप नून लेंगे, मैं आपके लिए नौकरी करना चाहता हूँ, हर आदमी लिखेगा, इंसान लिखेगा esteemed law firm, prestigious law firm, great opportunity, I will do my work diligently. But till the time as law students now, those of you in 5th year or LLM final year you are applying, please take note of this. Be very extremely particular about comma, full stop, asterisk, what is capitalized, what is not capitalized. सबसे बड़ी गलती जो करते हैं जो शायद आपको AI में नहीं समझा है कि जहां आप नौकरी के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हैं उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बारे में पढ़ें कि who are you applying for, who do you want to work with. अब मुझे कोई ईमेल लिखेगा बोलेगा मिस्टर त्रिवेदी I am applying to your esteemed organization so on and so forth. I read your judgment while I was a law student in which you had argued this matter, this particular point before the Honorable High Court or Supreme Court. My interest is 1-to-1. You are definitely in for an interview. You have satisfied that you are a researcher, not that you have interned with 500 different places. Because we all know at the end of the day how resumes are built in India. Now AI has only made it worse. So never underestimate the person who is interviewing on the other side. Very few years later you will be on this side. The moment you become an associate, an intern will come and ask you questions, you will know that okay, is he bluffing or not bluffing. So be very particular, guys. I'm telling you, it will change your life. Research about the company or corporation, and always target the one particular person. अगर आप LinkedIn पे भी मैसेज भेज रहे तो उसके जिस इंसान के साथ आप काम करना चाह रहे हैं AI के साथ तो काम नहीं करना, उस इंसान के बारे में 2 मिनट रिसर्च कर लीजिए. वो रिसर्च मेरे बारे में आपको गूगल में मिल जाएगा, आशीष सर के बारे में मिल जाएगा, कोबी सर के बारे में मिल जाएगा. जहाँ वो पर्सनलाइज टच आ गया ना, you see the remark, your probability अगर आपका 1:10 का रेशियो है, 10 और 10 का रेशियो, मैं आपको बता दूं किसी भी लिटिगेशन में अगर आप लोग आ रहे हैं, हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता आप कौन से लॉ स्कूल से, एज लॉन्ग एज आपको फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि आपकी शुरुआती तनख्वाह कितनी होगी और आप सीख रहे हैं. Just sir, I thought it's very important to understand.
Thank you, sir.
Always people get appreciated for the skills they bring on the table. You have to be an asset wherever you go. The moment you are a liability, if you haven't taken your 5 years of law school seriously, you haven't done your internship seriously, the moment you are hired, in a firm wherever, if at all you are hired, right? The question is, if you are paying X amount of money to gain knowledge from this university, but in the moments of learnings, are you serious or not? That's split second of a difference. But once you join a chamber, you are responsible because the day you wear a gown and your band ceremony is done, nobody will ask you when you are appearing before any court. Nobody will ask you, "Vapil साहब, बहस करने से पहले अपने कॉलेज और नंबर बताइए." कोई नहीं पूछेगा, right? So I just want to highlight that. I hope you guys understand and hear me out on this. It's frustrating on this side also. क्या करके आए 5 साल लॉ स्कूल में 50 इंटर्नशिप, जहाँ डियर सर का एस छोटा है ना, हमें वो सर डियर है ही नहीं आता. That's what I think.
And just to add what you said in summary way, that दिमाग खुल के काम करो.
बिल्कुल.
I'm sorry, I'm taking a lot of time. Sir, my question is to Harsh, sir. So, according to you, AI is a job creator or job destroyer? Like, all.
It's an enabler. Now let me see. Any form of technology, starting from the invention of wheel, its only objective is to make human life convenient and comfortable, so that you can invest your precious limited resource, which is time, on something which is more interesting and more creative. So, is it a destroyer? Not at all. But with great power comes great responsibility, and something called machine learning, where machine is teaching machine itself. That AI will not give you compassion. Maybe in the future, it will artificially grant you compassion. There's going to be a robot who's going to do your domestic chores tomorrow. Now, an advanced AI could be a washing machine or a dryer or a chef. But will that replace, will that replace that human touch element? The answer is. So one has to be very careful, very cautious. Nowadays, people talk about data privacy laws, but you are throwing away your data everywhere. When I was younger in 2007, when I joined Facebook, right, 2006, the consensual age of joining Facebook was 16. Nowadays it's 13. Parents are pictures, so there is going to be a difference, and every digital footprint you are leaving. आज इस स्टेज से खड़े होकर के मैं एक politically incorrect statement दे देता हूँ. I will not be able to replace it. I cannot take back my words, and that comes with awareness, because you are always being recorded through CCTV, through some camera. So you will always be held accountable 25 years down the line. So be very cautious about your cell phones. There is cyber crime through and through, which is now being replaced with our parents' voices, voice sampling. So one has to be, yes, it is a destroyer in that regard, but what other option do we have? We have to evolve with technology, because the intent is always to have things which are long-standing. Tomorrow you have strong robots who can make your buildings within a framework of assumingly 2 months. They can make a 4-story building. The robots are so sophisticated. Those buildings will be in compliance with the bylaws of the municipality. The safety assessment will be done. Why do you need MCD? Why do you need 10 other discretion of human element कि मैं labor हूँ तो मैं इतना ही सीमेंट लगाऊँ उस robot करेगा. There is going to be a pattern. There is going to be uniformity. Correct. So that uniformity is always good, but one has to be very careful. Creativity, yes. Is it a slave? Or the question which was asked, like, are we a slave? No. Where is this colonization mindset coming from? Because human dominance, history repeats itself. There is a war going on, World War I and World War II in 1914. Now we are in 24. There is a war happening since last 1 year. Israel is happening, Ukraine is happening, right? But the intent is that human nature doesn't change. We still want AI to be our slave. because we refuse to coexist. But there is going to be a time, to answer your question, when human beings and AI, they are going to exist together. You have no other option. Like in the same way, you take pride that you have an Android or an iPhone because you think an iPhone is superior. Because it's connected to materialism and efficiency. So yes, I mean, that's your answer.
And change is constant, and you have to accept that change and be adaptable. So for example, when industrial revolution happened in UK, in our country there were people making stuff with hands, and we took some time to adopt that. And we can see the consequences, the divides which happened. So we have to take the technology or change very positively, okay, and use it for our own purposes.
So that will be all. With the paucity of time, we'll be limiting to the Q&A section here. As one of our esteemed panelists has to leave for some of his urgent work, I would kindly request the Director Sir to please honor him. Mr. Cobi. And over to the host now.
It is my privilege to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guests who have shared their invaluable insights. I would like to thank Mr. Ashish Chandra, Senior Director, Axtria, Ingenious insight. Your perspective on your innovation HR strategies has truly inspired us, and especially the video technique which you talked about was something which we work upon in the basement set. Dr. Shivam, we have been we have been in your session previous also, so he has always given a wonderful session to us. And the practical approach which you have given to your session was really thought-provoking, and especially the skill development where you said, and even I believe that a fish cannot be just like primary place. So we are also grateful to Mr. Trivedi, advocate at Supreme Court. Your thought on legal consideration in HR practices were not only enlightening but also critical in helping us to understand the legal landscape in which we operate. Lastly, though Mr. Cobi is not here, his insight in talent acquisition, where we are involving around the needs of jobs in market and the valuable strategies that attract the top talents, was remarkable. So thanks to all our speakers for the precious time which you have given, and the commitment of sharing your knowledge with us was really great. I would also like to thank our respected Vice Chairman Sir, respected Director Sir, respected Dean Madam. They had always been guiding us with their wholeheartedness to make our work more effective and to check whether it is efficiently done. So I am thankful for all your guidance and insight which has made this program successful. Thank you all for being here and for your engagement. We look forward to implement the idea discussed today to our continued collaboration in the future. Thank you.